of convening having arrived, all members of the House will please report to the floor and take seats. All members report to the floor of the House. The clerk will ring the bell. All members report to the floor of the House. We are about to have the morning roll call. We're now going to have the morning roll call. All members of the House present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Well, good morning. Welcome to day 2. After today, only 38 more days. So, always looking for the silver lining. We will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. And I have the very distinct privilege and honor of introducing our chaplain of the day today, a friend of mine from Fannin County, a real leader in our community. Dr. Chan Mitchell is the lead pastor of the Ridge Community Church, which is located in Blue Ridge. He's a native of Fannin County, has been married to his high school sweetheart, Amber Bryson Mitchell, for 20 years. She is a teacher at West Fannin Elementary School, and she is at work today. They have 3 children, a daughter, Emma, and 2 sons, Bryson and Kaysen, and Bryson has come with his dad. Bryson, you want to stand up? Bryson gets to pick where they have lunch today when they head back. Chan graduated from the University of West Georgia and the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, as well as from the Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. And he enjoys kayaking and fly fishing on the beautiful Toccoa River in the trout capital of Georgia, which is Fannin County. He has been a transformative leader in our community. His church, which I think is now about 8 years in existence, has truly grown and become a real home for many, many people in our community. And I'm just very honored that he would come down today to be our chaplain of the day, Dr. Chan Mitchell.
Well, good morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with you today, especially following such an exciting day yesterday for the Georgia House of Representatives. And I really want to thank my representative, Speaker Ralston, for extending the invitation for me to be here with you today to share a word of encouragement and open this session in prayer. Now, since we are only about 15 days into 2019, I thought it would be a good time to talk about resolutions, because it's this time of year that so many people create their New Year's resolution. Now, the good news about a New Year's resolution is that people have a sincere desire to be better, to improve themselves physically, emotionally, or spiritually, and that's good news. But the bad news is this: according to studies, 92% of your New Year's resolutions will be broken by Valentine's Day. That's the bad news. And the question is why? Why do most of our resolutions, our commitments to become better versions of ourselves, often fail within just a few weeks? Now, I think it's because we don't see progress fast enough. For instance, I may make a commitment to walk on the treadmill for 3 days a week, but then a couple of weeks in, I get up on the scale and I've actually gained 2 pounds. And so I think to myself, is this even working? It's not working. And when we do that, when we see that the results aren't coming fast enough, we tend to wrongly conclude that the small, good decisions don't have a great impact on our life. And then there's the flip side of that scenario. I step off that treadmill discouraged. I walk to the kitchen, I eat 2 chocolate donuts, and then I step back on the scale, and guess what? Nothing has happened. And so I, again, wrongly conclude that the small, bad decisions that I make do not impact my life. And so it's easy for us to come to the conclusion that the small, good decisions don't really move the needle that much, and the small, bad decisions don't make a difference either. However, here is the truth. We miss so many times in our life that the sum total of all of our decisions, the result of that is who we are today. Who we are today is a result of every small decision, both good and bad, that we've made over the course of our life. Author Sean Covey wrote these words: "Our habits will make or break us. We become what we repeatedly do." So many of us have good intentions. We want to become healthier. We want to be more intentional. We want to be wiser. But then when we fail again and again at our goals, we end up feeling much like the Apostle Paul, who wrote these words in Romans chapter 7, "For I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing." I think we can all relate to that on some level. We may say, I want to be healthier. I want to stop procrastinating. I want to be more organized. I want to stop overspending when I go to Target or Walmart or wherever it might be. I want to do what is right. But like the Apostle Paul, many times we find that what we do is what we don't want to do. And instead, the things we don't want to do are the very things that we end up doing. And that can be frustrating. And when we get weary of trying to do good because we don't feel like we're making a difference, it's easy to start questioning our purpose. It's easy to start second-guessing our commitments. And there's a very popular story I want to share with you. I'm sure many of you have heard this. Story of an older man who was walking along the shoreline one morning following a storm that had passed through the night. He found on the sandy beach that it was littered with starfish as far as the eye could see in either direction. Off in the distance, the man noticed a small boy who was approaching. And as the boy walked, he would pause every moment and bend down. He would throw something back into the sea each time. The boy came closer still, and the older man called out. He said, "Good morning, young man. May I ask you what you're doing?" And the young boy paused, and he said, "I'm throwing starfish back into the ocean. The tide washed them up on the beach last night, and unless I throw them back into the sea, they will die." The old man replied, "But there must be tens of thousands of starfish on this beach. I'm afraid you really won't make a difference at all." The boy bent down, picked up one more starfish, threw it back into the ocean. He turned and smiled at the man and said, "It made a difference for that one." I love what Galatians says in chapter 6, verse 9. It says this: "Let us not become weary of doing what is good. For at just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we do not give up. We all have moments in life where it seems the good that we want to achieve is insurmountable. It can be very discouraging to continue to do what we feel is the right thing, but feel that it's making very little difference. However, this passage reminds us, it encourages us to never grow weary of doing what is good, to never grow weary of doing the right things, because eventually all those small, good decisions add up to a great harvest of blessing to us and to those we serve. Therefore, my part today is to encourage you that today and for the next 38 days, do not grow weary of doing good. Do not grow weary of striving and working for unity for the great state of Georgia. Do not become tired of representing those who believe in you and trust in you. Do not grow weary of leading all Georgians to a better and a brighter future for our state. Do not grow weary of doing the right things, for at the proper time, the word reminds us that we will reap a harvest of blessing if we do not give up. So this morning, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for standing in the gap and representing the great people of this state. I want to thank you for striving for what is good for all of us. Thank you that you do not grow weary of doing what is right for our people and for our state. Your leadership, your service does make a difference. And thank you for not growing weary of doing what is right. May I pray this morning. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the men and the women who fill this room, who have been called and equipped to do what is good and right by representing the citizens of this state. Father, I thank you for the good work that they do every single day here in Atlanta and throughout all of our counties. Father, I know the job that they've been tasked with is not always easy. I know there are times of struggle. I know there is difficulty. But Father, I pray for each one that you will bless them with a resolve and a passion that cannot be overcome by discouragement or opposition. And Father, in those moments of doubt, where they might wonder if what they do matters or whether it makes any difference at all, I pray that you will gently remind them that a harvest of blessing awaits those who never grow weary of doing what is good. Father, we ask that you bless the remainder of this session today. We ask for your continued guidance and wisdom in the days to come. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your blessings. And thank you for your Son, Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen. Amen. And please join me for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Darlene Taylor, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits have read the proceedings from the previous legislative day and found them to be correct.
Chairman Taylor, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. Burns, on 59th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period of unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 5 by Representative Cannon and the 58th bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 34 of the Fiscal Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions of labor and industrial relations.
Industry and labor.
House Bill 20 by Representative Bazemore, the 63rd bill being titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 4, Chapter 11 of Title 16 of the Fiscal Code of Georgia annotated relating to carrying and possession of firearms.
Public safety and homeland security.
House Resolution 1 by Representative Ralston, the 7th Burns, the 159th Jones, the 47th Spirey, the 135th England, the 116th, and others. A resolution naming the forthcoming new state appellate judicial complex, the Nathan Deal Judicial Center.
State properties.
House Resolution 16 by Representative Mitchell, the 88th resolution to ratify a proposed amendment to the United States Constitution.
Judiciary.
That completes first reading.
The clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Designating the mezzanine located at the southern portion of the Capitol and the jurisdiction House of Representatives between the third and fourth floors as the John Meadows Mezzanine. Honoring the life and memory of Sandra H. Mercier. Commending the Franklin County High School Ladies Lions softball team for winning the 2018 GHSA 3A State Softball Championship. Commending Christy Heath, Clayton County Public Schools 2019 Certified Support Leader of the Year. Recognizing January 16, 2019 as Cervical Cancer Day and January 2019 as Cervical Health Awareness Month. Commending Ava Marie Tatum, Clayton County Public Schools 2019 Classified Support Leader of the Year. Commending Dora Jenkins, Clayton County Public Schools 2019 Teacher of the Year. Commending Dawn Blisle, Clayton County Public Schools 2019 Classified Support Professional of the Year. Commending Dr. Karen Turner, Clayton County Public Schools 2019 Principal of the Year. Commending Nicholas Carroll, Clayton County Public Schools 2019 Certified Public Professional of the Year. Recognizing, commending Karam Hassan. Honoring the life and memory of James Harold Shepard Sr., co-founder of the Shepard Center. Honoring the life and memory of Thomas Haney Paris, Jr. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? The chair hears none and the resolutions are adopted. We're about to go on to morning orders. Okay. You all remember the instructions on the morning orders. We give respect and attention to the members in the well. We remain seated and quiet, and if we can't, then we go get a donut. We're going to limit the morning orders to 2 minutes each this morning. And the chair recognizes for a morning order Representatives Karen Bennett and Representative Al Williams.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, and to our esteemed colleagues, good morning. Ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you. President John F. Kennedy. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Neil Armstrong, very famous quotes, but I dare that there's one person who does not believe, and remember, I have a dream. I Have a Dream by Dr. Martin Luther King. It's by far one of the most memorable quotes of all times, delivered August 28, 1963, in the day that they marched. Today, the dream is still alive. I Have a Dream has been one of the most impactful speeches and quotes of all time to little boys and girls and men and women all over the country. Today, we remember and honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King and his birthday, January the 15th, and I will yield the remainder of my time to Representative Williams.
Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to share with you that in 1961, as a 9th grade student, I met Dr. King at Dorchester Center and followed him until his death. In 1963, as an 11th grader, I went to participate in the March on Washington. In 1965, as a senior, I marched from Selma to Montgomery. During these times into late 1966, I was jailed 17 times. And I would like to think that while I was in Vietnam, on April the 4th, 1968, when he was assassinated, because of his teachings and remembering him as an apostle of nonviolence, I was in the field hospital having been injured, and I was one of those responsible for stopping what could have been a very bloody period in our history, because I could not denigrate his memory with violence on that particular day. I shall never forget the experience of having known him, played with him, played softball, shot horseshoes, and just listened to this great apostle of nonviolence.
Thank you, Representative Williams. I too marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the age of 8. And I ask this esteemed body, won't you stand with me and recognize the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the Dean of the House, Chairman Calvin Smyrie, for a morning order.
Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, last night I had a great opportunity to talk with Butch Parrish. I had a long chat with him in a moment that I think he needed it, because we all have been through what he's going through. When you get that call, someone that is close to you passes away. And you know, when I talked to Butch last night, he told me that it's amazing when you meet someone and then that the first time you meet them, you know that that's the one. And I was talking to Alan Powell, Representative Powell, yesterday in the halls, and he mentioned that when Butch and Charlotte got married, it was almost like it was a honeymoon all the way until she passed away. And Butch Parrish has been a longtime friend of mine. I remember 34 years ago when he came to his house I got to know him at that time, and I've had a true friendship with him since that time. And I told him, I know that we're going to get out here early enough. And Butch, I want to come and be with you during that time of that I know you need. It's always good to have embraces and arms around you and people that get to know you and say hello to you and that I love you, and we know what you're going through. So I told Speaker Austin this morning that I just wanted to take a minute, and he said, you know what, Brother Smyer, Dean Smyer, I don't know when I may be back, but I'm trying to get through this moment and come back and be in the house, which I love, and be with the people that I admire and love. So I just wanted to come this morning with a heavy heart. We're like family in this house, and I just wanted to come and say that on behalf of this house and to the parish family, to the 3 children, and to his entire extended family, that we appreciate Butch and your service. We appreciate what you do for the people of Georgia. We appreciate your friendship. We appreciate your relationships here. And I want us again to think about the family, keep them in your prayers. The Lord knows what he's doing, and you never know the day, the moment, nor the time when you may leave this place. And I just wanted us to come together as a body and just take a moment of silence and memory of Charlotte and put our arms around the entire parish family. So if you would join me at this time in a moment of silence. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Smyrie. I would ask that all of you continue to hold Chairman Parrish in your thoughts and prayers. I visited with him by phone yesterday, and you know, he and Charlotte had a true love story, and that was evident from the moment you first met them. She was a very, very fine, great lady, and we're all going to miss her. No one as much as Chairman Parrish. The funeral is tomorrow, I think at 3 p.m. in Swainsboro. I know that some of you want to be able to attend, and so tomorrow we're going to come in and we're going to go through our business quickly with dispatch, so that people who do want to make that trek down there will have the opportunity to do that. Chair recognizes for a morning order Representative Burnell.
Good morning, colleagues. I rise this morning in memory of Chuck Ware, who passed away on April 24th, 2018. Chuck was a friend to everyone. He was one of the first persons to greet you when you got off the elevator with a big smile. Chuck worked on behalf of older Americans and working families. As a member of Georgia Stand Up, he registered over 1,000 voters. Would you please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Hughley for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Today we have talked about dreams. And in 1908, on the campus of Howard University, a co-ed had a dream. Ethel Hedgeman had a dream. And along with 8 others, that dream turned into what we now know as Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And since 1908, college-educated African-American women have been lifting their voices and reaching out to be supreme in service to all mankind. And so today we celebrate our founders, and we wish every soror, every woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha, happy Founders Day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We yield the well. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Buckner for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, for several years, many of us have received numerous phone calls and emails and messages asking us to give them an opportunity to address an issue that they were concerned about, and it's an unfair tax issue. Over the course of of the life of a woman, there are roughly 40 years that they have to bear the burden of a tax that is a tax that is not levied. There's not an equivalence of this tax for anybody else in the community. We already exempt non-prescription medical devices in Georgia law, and this item that they have to pay a tax on is a non-prescription medical device, and it is designated by the Federal Drug Administration. So if you're willing to join with the Junior Leagues of Georgia, the YWCAs, Georgia Women and those who stand with them, the Macon League of Women Voters, Project, Period Savannah, or the Homeless Project, or the Period at Georgia State University, I would urge you and ask you to please join those 10,000 women that have called and asked us to remove the tax on period products that they have to use throughout their life. And this bill will be at my desk until the time that I have to drop it today, and then you can sign it in the clerk's office if you don't get to sign it before that time. But I think the time has come for us to answer the call of those women who are unfairly taxed, and I would ask for your help and signature in doing that. Thank you. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Representative Carpenter for a morning order.
Thank you, Speaker. So I'm here today to ask everybody to show up tonight to Dalton Day down at the Freight Depot from 4 to 6. Everybody will be receiving their annual rug. Hold it up. So yeah, it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium in tribute to the Super Bowl this year. I thought it'd be a nice little touch. So.
Is that a good-looking rug? Thank you. I couldn't see it.
I thought you might like the backing a little better. So anyway, I appreciate you, and we'd love to have you down there tonight and to pick up your rug. And it's a tribute to the carpet industry and how important it is to our to my district. Thank you for the time.
Okay. You ready, Mike? Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 15.
House Resolution 15 by Representative Glant on the 75th, Jackson the 64th, Bond on the 2nd, Bernal the 77th, and Stovall the 74th. A resolution commending Clayton State University, recognizing January 15, 2019 as Clayton State University Day at the Capitol and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes for an invite resolution Representative Mike Glanton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, good morning and Happy New Year. Mr. Speaker, I would be joined by members of the delegations from Clayton, Henry, and Fayette counties. And I would like to ask today, as we recognize and honor Clayton State University, that you would join us in welcoming and honoring and recognizing those members of Clayton State University in the gallery. Would you please stand to be recognized? Thank you. I would also like to bring your attention to a magazine on your desk this morning that basically says Dare to Dream. And so I want to help you through these magazines to understand what Clayton State University is all about. It is a great university to the south of this capital. So, Mr. Speaker, if I might give the President, Dr. Tim Hines, an opportunity to make remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Representative Glanton, members of the delegation. On behalf of more than 7,000 students of Clayton State University, all of whom are preparing for a variety of careers in nursing, in healthcare management, in business, in film, in logistics, in computer science, amongst others, we say thanks for the support of this body for a more educated Georgia. This is one of the many reasons why Georgia is and will remain one of the best states, in fact, the best state in the United States to do business. We create talent. As Chancellor Wrigley said at the biennial announcements, more than 95% of the jobs created since the recession have required some post-secondary credential, and more than 70% have required four-year degrees. This is an investment you've made on behalf of the children of Georgia, and for that, and on behalf of Clayton State University and my colleagues, we say thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Representative Thomas. Chair recognizes Representative Abel Mabel Thomas to present the Doctor of the Day.
Mr. Speaker, members of this distinguished body, I'm so honored to have the Doctor of the Day, a very distinguished medical professional. Dr. Rutledge Forney earned her medical degree from Emory School of Medicine and graduated cum laude. She conducted her residency in dermatology at the University of California in San Francisco. Dr. Forney cares for her patients at dermatology affiliates in Atlanta, which she also founded. She has served as chair and vice chair of Medical Association of Georgia Board of Directors, as well as the president of the Atlanta Dermatological Association and the Medical Association of Atlanta. In October 2018, Dr. Forney was installed as the Medical Association of Georgia's 164th president during the association's House of Delegates meeting. I am honored to present to you Dr. Rutledge Forney. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. I appreciate it.
You want to say something?
Oh, sorry. I'll be brief. Okay.
Brevity is cherished.
Yes, exactly. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Good morning. I so appreciate being here today. Most Georgians do not realize how much of an impact you have on their health, but the physicians do. Many of the decisions you make every day can affect and enhance the health of Georgians. We really appreciate the time you spend here, the thought you give to your deliberations, and we want you to know that we support you and are here to help in any way we can. Thank you for your service. We know it's very tough to be a part-time legislator, but we are here to support you, and thank you.
All right, we're going on now to announcements. Chair recognizes for an announcement Representative Abel Mabel Thomas.
Again, to the Speaker and to our distinguished members of this body, the announcement I had was really to make sure that everybody knew that today is the actual birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, but Ms. Bennett and Al, the Honorable Al Williams as well, sort of put that out there. But one thing I want to do is to invite members of this body, even though there's a government shutdown, the King Center tonight is having a program called Dream Forward Award, and they're giving an award to an elected official. And I am being honored tonight at the King Center, the actual King Center, at 6 o'clock from 6 to 8. A reception is a part of it. And I also would like to mention that, just to let you know that Representative Calvin Smiley received this award last year, so I know I'm in good company to receive an award that the Dean of the Georgia General Assembly can receive. So if any of you are free to the public, it's called the Dream Forward Award, and I am honored because I do represent the district of Dr. Martin Luther King. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Representative Fleming for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the members of the House who are thinking about running for re-election, you might be interested in this announcement I'm about to make. As many of you know, there's been a lot of discussion that we in Georgia may, if this legislature and the governor so chooses, to purchase new voting machines for the state. There are 7 or 8 vendors out there nationwide that make this new generation of voting machines for us to consider. They're all contenders in this process. One of those vendors has come down to the Capitol today and set up some of this new generation machinery, electronic voting devices for us to see, if you would like to. Right above us in room 403 of the Capitol. I think they'll be there till noon. I expect they'll hang around a little longer if you go up there. If you go up there, a company called Hart, one of the 7 or 8 companies, is there, and they'd be happy for you to come up and look at some of the things you've been hearing about in the news. So that's room 403, right here in the Capitol. Go up and take a look at new generation voting machines. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The clerk's office has asked the chair to announce that there are some missing oaths, your oath of office, that they have not received all of those back. I sure would hate for us to get a week or two into the session and find out that someone is not properly a member of this body. So if you have your oath inadvertently with your paperwork from yesterday, that needs to be turned into the clerk's office immediately. We're going to be at ease for just a moment till we get a report from whether the Senate is making any progress on adopting an adjournment resolution. I'm smiling. Day 2, and we're waiting. It's all good. We'll be at ease for a couple of minutes till we get a report on that. I know you'd like to be able to plan. Chair recognizes Representative Stovall for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. On your desk in the magazine from Clayton State University.
Lady will suspend. We have a member in the well. I would like for you to give her the respect and attention that you would expect if you were in the well. Lady may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, the magazine on your desk from Clayton State actually has a featured article about the Atlanta State Farmers Market. And as you all remember, last session, there was a House Study Committee that was created. And what we did was previously before the Farmers Market, we had partnered with Clayton State University's MBA program to do a marketing analysis. And so when we had the study committee, they actually came and did a presentation. But the magazine that they sent out to all the alumni actually featured the Farmers Market project that they did. And of course, I was featured in there as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, we're going to be doing page photographs at the rostrum immediately upon adjournment. We have no birthdays today. We also do not have an adjournment resolution from the Senate yet. Hopefully we will have that tomorrow. We try to get those to you as quickly as we can for your consideration and planning. But anyway, Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House for a motion.
That's best summed it up, Mr. Speaker, anyway, but we'll move forward. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Wednesday, January the 16th, 2019.
The Majority Leader has moved that this House adjourn until Wednesday, January 16 at 10 o'clock a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House is adjourned until Wednesday at 10 a.m.